Look at this. You hear that sound? It sounds and even looks so much like home, yet just a little bit different. Main Street, USA? It sounds like Main Street. It sort of looks like Main Street, but instead of Gimberly, instead of good old Gimberly the Imberly, we have Jacques Belly. Bonjour, Jacques Belly. Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Disneyland. Not as crowded as I'm used to at Disneyland. I mean, look at this crowd here in the morning. Look at this morning commute on the way to Sleeping Beauty's castle, or the castle of the hot chick sleeping in the forest, as it's known here, Le Chateau de Belle Abois Dormant. I finally got that. Nailed it. It's the Sometimes vlog. It's a vlog that happens sometimes, and sometimes it happens in the freezing cold rain in France. Welcome back, everybody. Look at this. This is a perfect opportunity to show you guys a little bit of Main Street. Here's some major differences from Main Street USA here in Paris versus Walt Disney World in Florida. Look at this. There's an auto service place, Main Street Motors right here. Look at all these happy people coming in the park in the morning. It is extra magic hours. The sun is barely up at 9 a.m. It wasn't up at 8 a.m. when the park opened for hotel guests only, and it will open to the public in another hour or so. But anyway, here's Main Street Motors. Look at that. There's a garage here and a gas pump on the side of Main Street. What will they think of next? I don't know if you noticed, but that was a police car. The Main Street paddy wagon cruising up and down Main Street USA. So even though we are on Main Street USA, we are definitely in France in a very different Main Street USA than you or I am used to. It is freezing cold. It is raining. Yesterday I had to buy a raincoat when I went out grocery shopping with my friends, the Germans, who are very efficient in getting me the groceries and the outfit. Actually, they don't have accents that bad, but Daniel and Claudia are very cool. I'm very grateful to them for helping me go get a jacket that's a little bit better suited for rain than the one that I was wearing the other day in the snow that got absolutely soaked and was almost impossible to dry. So notwithstanding this beautiful view here, this is also a good time to point out the usefulness of something that we do not have at home, either at Disneyland or at Walt Disney World, although we do have sort of a weird backstage approximation at Walt Disney World and at Disneyland. Disney World's Magic Kingdom. When Main Street USA gets too crowded, they sometimes open up little tunnels behind Main Street for people to walk in. Here in Paris, those tunnels are called arcades, which just means covered hallway, sort of, and they have them in the city of Paris, and they have them all over France, actually. And the reason why they have them is very practical. Here they are permanent, and I would like to walk into one now as I am getting soaked. But first, let us walk past Walt's restaurant. There's a Walt's restaurant, the fanciest, of course. Hold on a second. Let's get under some cover here as we talk about this. There's a Walt's restaurant. Whoa, it sounds totally different with my hood off. It sounds better. I sound neat. Hello, echo. Anyway, Walt's right there. Restaurant is the fancy restaurant on Main Street USA, and it's right next door to Lily's Boutique. And for those of you unfamiliar with the fact, Lily was Walt's wife. Lillian Bounds Disney, Walt's wife. So Lily has her boutique right next to a Walt's restaurant, just like they always dreamed of. And here, not only do they have Main Street windows up here with tributes, just like they do at all the other Disney parks, they also have this really cool tribute here to Walt Disney's father, Elias Disney, contractor, 1901. Well, if you don't know, Walt Disney was born in 1901, and Walt Disney's dad, named Elias, was definitely the contractor who built Walt, if you know what I'm saying. Ladies, this kid almost slipped. You gotta be careful in this rain. Now look at this street. Look at this brick paving here, which is another big difference between Paris and any other Main Street. You have this brick paving here, which leaves all these dips and water spots in the road. In the United States, you'd have way too many crazy lawsuits and stuff like that for have that. It's just totally different here. During the parades, I see people climbing on trash cans and climbing on things you'd never get away with in the United States. But I think lawsuits and liability and all that works differently here. Anyways, the cross streets here, Flower Street and Center Street, I think, or Market Street over here, and Flower Street over here. This, by the way, the entrance with my hotel right there. I woke up this morning, walked out of my door, and Goofy was there. It was the coolest thing ever. That's on Snapchat, but that's on Snapchat. Look at this. Anyway, I'm getting cold and soaked in the rain. I have to keep these vlogs short and sweet, so we must move on from this very beautiful view, and I want to show you this over here. Now behind this refreshing delivery Coca-Cola vehicle, just down this side street, which is called Flower Street, and I think it was the same at old Disneyland, was Center Street, and then I think Flower Street over here too, but I could be wrong. At the original Disneyland, there was a florist area here. There's now a little eating area. Anyway, the side streets are much more elaborate here, but that's not the point. Over here, you walk into this little doorway here and into the arcades. They have these behind each side of Main Street, and they're the most genius thing ever, ever, ever. I don't remember if I showed them on the vlogs from the last trip to Paris, but if I didn't, I probably should have, because these are the coolest things in the world. Now, it really doesn't rain in Southern California. We have on the average 300 days of sunshine, which is why the motion picture industry moved to Southern California. And believe me, as somebody who's trying to make videos now in France in the rain and the snow and everything else, I can appreciate a little sunshine, a little less wind, a little less rain, a little less snow in Southern California to make movies, especially back with the old cameras that really depended on bright, bright sunlight to expose the film. But anyway, we wouldn't really need these, but it would be awesome to have them, because look at this. This is all running behind the shops on Main Street on either side. You can enter the park with a covered walkway and walk down this covered arcade pretty much all the way to the hub on both sides. So not only do you avoid traffic, like when there's a parade and it gets all clogged up, or when the fireworks are happening and people are all backed up on Main Street, you can also avoid the weather. And if you're a total wuss about the cold and the wet and the snow and the sleet and the hail and the weird looks from people like me, you can creep around and come out here. Oh, look, here's Chip and Dale over here, just chilling, hanging out. What I love about Disneyland Paris the most, see, look here, out to the hub we have come. What I love about Disneyland Paris the most is the lack of crowds. And that is certainly true for extra magic hours. I know it's very expensive, but if you ever have the chance to come to Paris, I would definitely suggest saving up and springing the extra cash to stay on property. In Florida, the benefit is the magic bands. You can charge them to your room and stuff like that. In Paris, the benefit is this. Look how early morning it is, and look how nobody's waiting for Chip and Dale here at all. It's crazy, Chip and Dale and all that. If you go back to my vlogs from the last time I visited Paris, you'll see when I was the first one in here one morning that I got to meet Mickey and Donald and Goofy and take my pictures and do a bunch of fun pics with those guys before anybody was in the park. It was insane. This morning, very similar situation, not just because of the rain, but just because it's extra magic hours, which is a little early morning thing. Somebody, oh no, somebody has lost the tissues de la resistance. How will we ever fight the revolution without our tissues de la resistance? Well, I'm gonna do what we would do at Anaheim when somebody loses something and stick this thing over here. Now look at the beauty of the hub right now. The beauty of the hub is because of a little something called spring. Look at this flower thing over here, and they do a little meet and greet here. And if these little egg-like characters aren't giving it away, spring is coming to France. Yes, there's still no leaves on trees, but the biggest difference between the last time I was here and this time, other than these very colorful wood chips and these amazing, really weird Easter eggs, which we will look at another time. I hope we'll get some more time to look at all these weird Easter eggs, or I'll just start posting them on Instagram. Live fast, die poor. Is that it's spring. It's spring now. The last time I was here, I realized this music wasn't playing at all. There was some reason when I was coming in here, I was feeling very at home at Disneyland this time, and I was like, what is it? It's because all the Christmas decorations are removed, the Christmas tree is removed from the foot of Main Street, and they're not playing Christmas music here. Which, believe me, there was something homey about the Christmas music last time. See, look at that. Patty. I don't think you would get away with that in Boston, in the United States, or something like that. Patty being our little slang for old-timey, put-down slanginess for Irish, you know. Good old St. Patrick, Patty. St. Patty, look at these people. They are staring at me. I think I've become part of the show here. Look at that. Look at the crowd here on Main Street. Look how crowded it is. Anyway, they are having their spring festival. It's just about to begin. It hasn't officially begun yet, and everyone is assuming from Europe that I'm very excited to be here because of that. No, it's very cool to be here for the spring festival, but that is not the reason I'm here. The biggest reason I'm here is to just do a little filming, do these vlogs, say hello to you, show you Disneyland Paris, experience a little Disneyland Paris, but also because Star Tours is closing. On the 16th, I believe, will be the very last day of Star Tours here in Paris. Now, that doesn't sound that important, but the reason it's important, and I'll show you these topiaries as I'm talking, but the reason it is important is because it is still the old school Star Tours with Captain Rex. You know, the old Pee Wee Herman voice guy? Only here that's got a French guy's voice instead, but still, it's the old school Star Tours. The original Star Tours is still rocking here in Disneyland Paris, and they are going to upgrade it and refurb it and have it be the new school Star Tours on March 16th is its last flight. So that is one reason I had to come to Paris, to be one of the last people in the world to experience the original Star Tours, because I love Star Wars and I love Star Tours. But also, Pirates of the Caribbean is planned for a major refurb and all this different stuff. Plus, the last time I came, so many people asked about Phantom Manor, and I did film a lot of Disneyland Paris the last time I was here, and I kept a lot of it out of the vlogs on purpose because I had filmed this whole video about the whole park, which sadly was never edited in a timely manner, and because of things in Utmost Studios, this is a personal life and different stuff that was going on, it just didn't get edited fast. So it still has never come out. I'm actually on the point, I'd like to ask you guys, should we have it finished and try to put it out and have it finished, even though it's showing the Christmas decorations and might be kind of slightly outdated? Should we have that finished? Because I'm certainly not refilming a whole video about the entirety of the park. It was basically an overall thing about the entire park, and I really don't want to redo that and spend my time here in Paris trying to redo that in this weather. Because the couple things that I'm here to do that I really want to film, I'm going to have to fight with the weather the entire time I'm here. So trying to redo this whole crazy thing that took weeks last time, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. So yes or no, what do you say? Should we try to resurrect the old video and finish it or not? Now, I've been here for 3 days. I got here the first day, I was super jet lagged and tired, barely felt like I was alive. I met up with my friends who brought me here. I said hello to them. I went up to the Michael Jackson suite. Then yesterday, I was hanging out. Excuse me, you were all foggy right there. Yesterday, I was hanging out with my friends, the Germans, and stockpiling up food. I was in the parks both of those days for about an hour each day, but not too much time spent here. And on neither day did I visit my friend, the Dragon. I have not yet visited the coolest thing about Disneyland Paris. And if you have never seen what I'm about to show you, if you have never been in Tanier Du Dragon, and you have never seen the most amazing part of this castle, and you don't know anything about this castle, I suggest you pause this video right now, open another window, and type in youtube.com/livefastdiepoor. I want you to go down and I want you to find my video about this castle here, Sleeping Beauty Castle here at Disneyland Paris, and the Lair of the Dragon in there. Go find that video. It would behoove you to do that. It's a much better video, and it's gonna be much better quality and much brighter footage than what I can capture with this iPhone. But I wanted to share this moment with you. Today, I'm going to the Louvre, and I'm gonna give you a view of this Sleeping Beauty Castle. You gotta go to that video and see it. I have all kinds of details about it. I don't wanna repeat them now and take a lot of time. Yesterday, I uploaded a 25-minute to YouTube. It took 700 minutes of upload time, and I have to reconnect to the internet every hour on the hour. I still have that problem here. The Wi-Fi at the Disneyland Hotel is awful. It's very slow. There's no bones about it. Normally, I like to just put a positive spin on things, but there's nothing positive about it. It's super awful and super slow. And so it's torture to upload a 20-minute vlog. Takes the better part of a day, and instead of just being able to be in the park continuously, I have to continuously walk out of the park. Takes 20 minutes. Go up to the hotel room. Takes 10 minutes. Reconnect to the internet, come down 10 minutes, 20 minutes back in the park. I have 30 minutes before I have to repeat the cycle to connect to the internet. And so that is how pretty much my next 2 weeks are going to go. So it's a little tough. So I'm gonna try to avoid repeating myself as much as possible by telling you to go back to old videos, youtube.com/livefastdiepoor, and I want you to see the video I made about this. Le Chateau de Belle à Bois Dormant, Sleeping Beauty Castle, Paris style, a little more fanciful than the one we have in Anaheim, because of course in Europe they have real castles. And so if you want to impress them, you really need to go full fairy tale. This thing is about 100 feet taller than the one in Anaheim, 100 feet taller than my castle. And I said the other day that Sleeping Beauty Castle at home is my favorite, but now I'm in Paris and this is my favorite. This is my favorite castle. It's so beautiful. But of course I'm gonna go home and be like, oh, my favorite. There's the entrance to Adventureland over there, looking like a crazy Moroccan fort. And in here, Le Tanier Du Dragon, something a little bit creepy. A little bit scary. We'll let these people go in first. We'll let them get their walkway out. Something a little bit creepy. Anyway, just like at home, you have the hub, and then you have Frontierland, Adventureland, so a little swap from the original Disneyland. Frontierland first, then Adventureland, and then of course you have Fantasyland through the castle, and over there, Discoveryland instead of a Tomorrowland? Very confusing. All those things I did vlogs about last time, you can come and check those out on this channel. Just go back and look in December for that. There's the entrance to Adventureland. Okay, now I think I've given them just enough time. Let us enter La Tanier Du Dragon, the dragon's lair. Notice the Maleficent head. But that, and it's Sleeping Beauty with a Maleficent head. But this is maybe not what you're expecting. Okay, I'm gonna be quiet now. It's very scary in here. I haven't been in here in 2 months. And I spent quite a lot of time in here last time when I was making a video by my lonesome. So you'd think I'd be used to this, but actually coming back in here, no, it's a little bit creepy here. Uh-oh. There he is. The dragon. The dragon. I swear I saw a dragon. Not that guy. He's a little weird looking, but he's no dragon. Look at this guy. Look at those bones of some kind of human creature that have been eaten. This is a massive, huge dragon. Look at this. I hope nobody wakes this thing up because he's a... Whoa! Oh my goodness. Oh! Something's making me nervous. And then here, there's little kids standing in. Hello to you too. Bonjour, dragon. Go back to sleep. Come on. Come on. You know you feel sleepy. I know you ate Lancelot. That's a lot of food. Get it? Nope. Okay. Off to sleep goes the dragon. Ooh, that's so cool. My first visit to the dragon. I wasn't expecting so many people to be down here right now. Okay. And as you can see, there's a lot of different hallways down here in the castle. It goes through and back to Fantasyland, and then there's that front entrance, and then over here we have a side entrance, which normally I don't want to go down and take my camera through because of this waterfall and all the spray, but I figure with the rain, and since this iPhone is completely soaked already, what's the difference? Look at this. The waterfall coming from underneath the castle. This is so cool to be able to get down next to the castle moat and look up at the most beautiful Disney castle, in my opinion, in the world. I've only seen pictures of the others, but Hong Kong is a copy of our castle. Tokyo is a copy of Cinderella Castle in Florida. So I'm going to go ahead and speak for those two being accounted for in my mind. Of course, we haven't seen Shanghai's castle yet in person, or in pictures yet, completed. But I'm going to go ahead and say this is definitely the most beautiful castle of all the castles. And last time in that video, I did a whole video and we walked upstairs in the castle. We went inside the castle, showed what was inside of it. And of course, a dragon. A dragon. I swear we saw a dragon. Look at this. Here's the wishing well. Look how elaborate and crazy it is down here. Look at all these walkways and things. I don't think you'd ever see this in Anaheim. Here's fountains because they do a big show here off to the side of the castle. It's a whole thing. It's so awesome. So anyway, it's time for me to wrap this vlog up because I'm going to actually leave Disneyland Paris. Even though I wasn't in the park much yesterday, I wasn't in the park much the day before. Today I'm not going to be in the park much either because I'm going to go get on a train, the train station here, and go into Paris today and go to the Louvre. The last time I did not get to spend too much time there. I would really like to spend a little time there for myself, actually looking around all day. And of course, I would also like to maybe, hopefully, if I can bring the camera and if they let me and nothing bad happens and the French authorities don't put me away, I would really like to do a little filming in the Louvre because the last time I was there, I saw some things that I thought were a little bit weird. But first, I need to go over to this wishing well because there's a lot of, well, not a lot of people. There's some people on my mind and I would like to go and make some wishes regarding my future and those people and thinking about my loved ones, and I'm very stoked to be in France, but also getting a little homesick this morning for some reason already. I don't know, I'm not usually the homesick type, but I love all of my loved ones and I wish that they were here. Look at this, the wishing well. The wishing well at Disneyland Paris has a bucket. Where's our bucket? Huh? Well, we're not good enough for a bucket at home. There's also another well in Tomorrow, or in Frontierland here, that also has a bucket. So Disneyland Paris has the whole bucket thing under control, believe me. Look at this. Oh, it's so awesome. This is probably the best Fantasyland that I've ever been to. Of the 3 Magic Kingdom parks, I'm gonna go ahead and say Paris has the best, most elaborate looking. Just look at that. Look at that here. The most elaborate castle and the most elaborate Fantasyland. Like I said, every single one is my favorite when I'm in it, but this is really like above and beyond. They did such an amazing job with Fantasyland here. I really feel like it would be the Fantasyland Walt Disney would have built at Walt Disney World had he lived and been able to like imagine things and have all these walkways and paths and stuff. That's the thing that separates Disney from me, from like a Six Flags or a Cedar Fair or some company that's just, here's an amusement park, here's some rides, is that Disney is supposed to be all about these little touches, these walkways, these paths, really immersing you in the magic and doing all this crazy stuff. That's what made Disneyland so amazing and special. People from Disney World don't really feel that because it's so much smaller than what they're used to. Walt Disney World, a whole step above that with a lot more space to be, you know, drawn into the story with. And here in Paris, not only do they have the space, but they just went full elaborate crazy with Fantasyland because they have real medieval towns here. 45 minutes away is Provence, a very medieval city. You have Paris over here. So if you want to see castles and stuff in Europe and you're a European, you want to impress some Europeans with castles and fairy tale villages, you better build a pretty elaborate fairy tale village. And Fantasyland here certainly is that. I did a whole vlog roaming all over Fantasyland last time, so go and look backwards for that if you can. I'm sure we'll see a little bit more of it on this trip. This vlog has already gotten much, much longer than I expected it to. You can, of course, support future trips to all kinds of weird places and apparently all over the world if you want to. Patreon.com/JustinScott. I do have one of those. By popular demand, I created a Patreon account. Also, livefastdiepoor.spreadshirt.com. And that's about it. That's all I'm supposed to. I've done my duty by mentioning those, and I hope you enjoyed this little glimpse of very rainy, very soaked. My phone is now soaked. I am now soaked. Disneyland Paris in the morning. I'm gonna go cruise back to Fantasyland and see what's good, see what's going on, or maybe cruise back to Main Street, get some photos of this castle here. Actually, I think I'm gonna go back down and visit my friend, the dragon. Either way, thank you for joining me. Subscribe for some more crazy adventures from all over the world, and I will see you guys a little later. Au revoir!